All right, Shalom. First and foremost, we're going to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the elder apostles, great millstone, who rule well, and salutation and much love to the Akim out there, preaching out his word in true sincerity. For us from Great Millstone, Tampa, back with another weekly lesson. Lord's will is edifying and exhorting to the hopeful elect out there. You know, we're just going to go in the spirit, flow in the spirit, and we'll touch on some topics here. You know, different prophecy. You know, that's all we need to talk about. You know, really. Let me just read this real quick, and then Dawada, you got it. I know you wanted to say something. This is an article on RT. I'm not gonna pull it up, but it says this is on RT. It says NATO rejects Russia's red line. Alliance rejects key Moscow demand to stop expansion into former Soviet territory. Demands Russian withdrawal instead. So this is just, keep poking at the bear. You know, we know that World War III is coming. The mark of the beast is already here. There's people getting it as we speak. People using it to buy and sell. And it's very soon it's going to be made mandatory. Why? Because you're going to have to prove your status. Okay? So just like they made the Jesus juice mandatory for certain things, it's going to come down to the wire when this digital currency really comes out. And you have no choice but to get it if you want to use your money. But go ahead, you got it.
Con, real quick, Aria, can you bring out Matthew chapter 24 and read verse 3 and then jump and read 6 through 8 real quick?
Con, Matthew 24, verse 3. It says, and as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming? And of what? And of the end of the world?
And so like the brother was just opening up with, these signs and things like that. This was a direct question that was asked. All right. And, a lot of people should be questioning these things right now because, you have the ultimate writing on the wall. All right. You have all these different signs that we're about to get into. They're all speaking loud and clear right now. Most people will say, no man, like the scripture says, no man knows the day or the hour. But what we're going into is, you can read further down in this chapter about the seasons. We'd be able to read real quick. Aria, can you read what verse is that?
Well, if I may add, okay, go ahead and tell them the verse. You're talking about
32 and 33.
Kind of, yeah. While you get that, because like brother mentioned the seasons. Shit, we could tell what season we in. Why? Because of the things that are going on around us. You know what I'm saying? It's not rocket science. We don't have to, make mathematical equations and substitute X for Y and figure out what Z means and then carry over no, we don't have to do all that, man. All we have to do is what the Lord commanded us to do is watch and look for what he said would be taking place. That's how you're able to observe. Another word for watch is observe. How are you observing the times? Well, it's by watching. But what are you watching? The environment, looking around the world. What's going on around the world? But go ahead. I don't know what's going on with this internet.
Verse 30. You said 32 and 33.
Yep. Just to back up the point what the brother just was saying.
Perfect. Yep. So this is in the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 32. This is Yahweh Shai's words. Now learn a parable of the fig tree. When his branch is yet tender and putteth forth leaves, ye know that summer is nigh. So likewise ye, when ye shall see all these things, know that it is near, even at the doors.
Right. And so, like the brother was just going into it, it's plain and clear. You can look at certain trees when it's time to harvest and things like that, or even in a more plain visual for us brothers here in Florida. When you see them dark clouds outside, it's a storm about to come. All right, you don't need the weatherman to tell you what the forecast is when you can just clearly open up the door and look outside and see what's going on. All right. So can you go back to finish that verse 3 and then go to 6 and 7?
I got something real quick to back that up what you just read. This is Luke chapter 12, pretty much going into the same thing, but said differently. This is Luke chapter 12, verse 54. It reads, and he said also to the people, when you see a cloud rise out of the west, straightway ye say, there cometh a shower, and so it is. Again, like the brother just made the analogy about the weatherman. You see the cloud, You think you say, all right, a shower's coming, all right, so cool. Verse 55, and when you see the south wind blow, you say there will be heat and it coming to pass, because that wind is bringing in the heat. Verse 56, all right, because remember, we're just see, you got to put yourself. That's why the apostles always hit on putting yourself in the scriptures, man, drawing the picture in your mind. Why did it say that the south wind? Because that south wind coming from the south, right? I believe it would be coming from the south, but because it wouldn't make sense the other way. That south wind's going to bring in what? The heat from the south. What was under Israel? Africa, which is Sahara Desert, Saudi Arabia, nothing but desert out there. So it's going to bring that heat. Okay, let's say, I'll read it again. And when you see the south wind blow, you say there will be heat and it coming to pass. Verse 56, ye hypocrites, ye can discern the face of the sky and of the earth, but how is it that ye do not discern this time? Go ahead.
And that's what we're telling 2/3 of our people. Like, how could you not see this? I mean, at the end of the day, man, like, we're looking at it, it's clear as day to us. And what we're doing is we're getting our households in order, prepared for what's about to happen out here spiritually, of course. Because what's about to happen out here, it's gonna be a heavy storm. To put it carnally, a big storm is coming. You don't see anybody up, battening down the hatches, putting storm shutters on their windows. Here in Florida, you're talking about Florida. Here, when the hurricanes come by, we have to put storm shutters on our windows, so our windows will get blown out. All right, because we clearly know a storm is coming. But here it is, everybody out here just going, it's business as usual, and we're the only ones looking crazy, putting storm shutters on our window. You don't see the clouds. You don't see what's going on out here. So back in verse 3 of Matthew 24, I'll read it again, and then I'll skip down to verse 6. It says, and he sat on the Mount of Olives, and the disciples came to him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? All right. So, that's the question a lot of you people should be asking. All right. And honestly, we asked you that, do you think we in the last days? And you'd be like, oh yeah, Christ is coming back any day. You could ask a lot of these people out there, oh, we definitely in the last days. So you can see it. And then now you have to go to the book of 2 Peter, the 3rd chapter, and be like, all right, well, what manner of person ought you to be? All right, a lot of you people, you see it coming, but you're just ignoring it like it doesn't exist. Skipping down to verse 6, Matthew chapter 24, verse 6. Now this is Yahweh's words. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. You got it, bro.
Yep, and read the next verse real quick.
Verse 7, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines, and pestilences, and earthquakes, in divers places.
Mm-hmm.
All these are the beginning of sorrows.
Con, and we'll finish off. I got some more to read to add to that. But nevertheless, hey, when you go through, your news feeds and things like that, one of the major hot topics right now, there's a lot of different theaters of war that's going on right now, but one of the big major ones is the situation over there in the Ukraine area. All right, you have how you call it, NATO and American forces mounting up and sending arms and things over there. You also have Russia doing the same thing. All right, they're afraid that Russia's about to invade over there. Or you also have, that's what the Americans are saying. They're afraid that Russia's about to invade. But hey, it's seeming like it's a defensive move, because you see these Americans through UK and all them actually putting arms on the grounds over there, man. So, it's really Russia they're preparing for defense. All right. But hey, these escalations and things like that, one sure thing that is happening is troops and equipment is being prepared for a war. Real quick, let me grab that precept real quick before I get this other precept. Give me 1 second.
I'll be right back.
All right, Con.
Because
one of the things that you have to understand is we're about to go into World War III is that, it takes a big logistical move to be able to move all this here equipment into place. All right. So, let me get it real quick. This is in the book of Joel, chapter 3, verse 9. Well, let me read a little bit of this. Joel chapter 3 and verse 9, it says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. And so again, so what you have to understand is how war really takes place and things like that. Like, for instance, how America has the advantage over all these other nations is when you look at the maps of NATO and NATO and America's military bases, they're all on the other side of the globe, right? So they don't really have to move too far to wage war on anybody else. But for anybody else, this is why you don't really you can't really call any other nation a real superpower, because they can't really wage war on multiple fronts. This is why you have talks of China versus Taiwan, because China don't really have the naval force to move their equipment on to Taiwan, even though they're right across the water. You see what I'm saying? So imagine them trying to bring all their equipment over to America. They would have to bring all their tanks and everything. They don't have quite the equipment for those things. So it takes a lot of movement to get over into these places. So now when you start seeing going back to the Middle Eastern war, America was moving a lot of their equipment over to the Middle East, because we know, like, as we can keep reading down in here, but or if we was to read up a little bit to the Valley of Yehoshaphat, America was moving a lot of their equipment over to the other side of the globe, man. That's where the main theater of war is going to be at. So, over the last 20 years, they've been moving over into the Middle East and everything else like that, man. Now they're moving closer and closer into the doors of Russia, because this is where they about to go to war. All right, let me read that again. Joel 3 and 9, it says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I'm strong. And hey, we can read in Ezekiel 38 about how Russia's preparing themselves and preparing these other nations that are, with them. All right, now a lot of these weapons and things and what equipment that they're using can be used for a lot of other things. But what are their main purposes being used for right now, man? All right, to go to war. Just like, hey, you can use, your regular rifles and stuff like that to hunt. All right, or to do other things. You can use dynamite to blast out caves into the mountains and stuff like that. But you can also use that stuff to go to war. And what are you seeing these people doing with a lot of this technology and things that they're using right now, man? All right, they're creating these things for war right about now, man. All right. Well, let me just read let me read two more verses. Verse 11. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Yahweh. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Yehoshaphat, for there will I sit and judge all the heathen around. So, going into that, again, a lot of these, a lot of equipment is being moved into the Middle East. All right. But then you also seeing a lot of equipment being moved up onto the borders of Russia, man. All right. Because at the end all be all, you're going to have America going at it against Russia. All right. So this is, whether or not, things actually spill over into a hot war at this point in time, because that all the prophecy has to be fulfilled. All right. Everything is working on the Most High's time. But what we do see is that these things are being prepared. All right. The vision is yet for an appointed time, just like we've seen the RFID chip years ago. All right. But now here's a scenario for these things to start being played out. Now we're starting to see these things being put into motion. All right. So, hey, things is happening at the Most High's pace in his time right now. All right.
Yeah. There's no de-escalation now. There will be no de-escalation, man. It's just going to continue to build up. Whether Russia invades Ukraine or not, that's irrelevant. All right. But because we know the main focus should be on the Middle East. Okay. But Russia as well, because that's why you got Russia invading those countries, because they're getting back into that spirit. Okay. The hook in their mouth. But what one thing for sure is that this is World War III has begun, whether you want to recognize it or not. All right. Because World War always starts with people invading. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago, and I sent brothers the videos. There was always invasions before anybody declared war. There was always countries. Really started with Germany would invade people. Boom, hit these motherfuckers up, invade them. But it wasn't overnight that it's World War I. Nah, man, they turned it World War I after the war was over. You know what I'm saying? So we're living in World War III. All right, the shit hasn't hit the fan yet. They haven't started drafting motherfuckers over there. People haven't started invading, because, like brother said, the prophecy has to. Really, there's only one prophecy. I mean, outside of salvation and the Yahushua returning, There's not many prophecies that have to be fulfilled. And this is what we're telling you people to get right or die, man, because the kingdom of heaven is at hand, man. Once that, look, you don't want to wait till that chip is rolled out, because then it's going to be too late to come looking for us. You know, the famine of the word is still coming. We still see you still have the luxury to tune in every Wednesday. You know, if you live here in Tampa, you could still tune in every Wednesday, every Saturday, every Sunday, whatever the case may be, and then listen to the prophets of the Lord. You know, your local prophets. And you think it is funny and it's a joke, and you're not taking it seriously, but very soon your life is going to be turned upside down, man, more than it was 2 years ago. That's when Esau started coming down, because he knew he had but a short time. That prophecy's already begun. He knows he had but a short time. Look, this nigga been shoving shit down your throat for 2 years, and you still got dildo heads out here complying. But things about to turn up, man.
Go ahead. Yep. You got something?
Real quick, if I may, the book of Isaiah 34:1, it says, "Come near, ye nations, to hear, and hearken, ye people. Let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world and all things that come forth of it. For the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations, and his fury is upon all their armies. He hath utterly destroyed them and hath delivered them to the slaughter." And we're seeing, and in the first scripture it said, you know, come near, ye nations. So the nations, the Lord, like I said in the book of Joel, the Lord is gathering all nations. All right, in that valley, in that region there. All right, and we're seeing signs of it right now, because what's the Lord going to end up doing? He's going to bring his indignation, his wrath upon these nations here, man. The Lord is setting it up like a big chess games. You know, he's like the brother was saying, it's a logistics game, man. You got to move pieces, little pawns here. I got to move the rook. Okay. Power plays are being made under the radar, above the radar, and you know, whether it's being made public or not, things are happening on a very, very, you know, quick basis, man. You know, and these are war games being played out. All right, you know, the war room is popping right now. All right, in Washington, the war room is popping. Okay, they're talking about pushing the button. They're talking about, you know, in possible invasions. Possible coups and things like that.
Yeah, and that's why, if I may add, that's why I said that just because Russia invades it don't mean the outside coming tomorrow. Because look, Russia invaded Crimea in 2014. That didn't mean, you know, and the NATO was against it, but they didn't do a goddamn thing about it. You know, to this day, Crimea is still annexed. All right, so
and Georgia,
this is gonna be huge though. You know, this is going to change the face of the world, because these other nations, now they're seeing that America is weak. They're going to take advantage of this. Everybody, the world stage, North Korea, Iran, China, you name it. Okay. And even in South America, who knows, Africa, Europe, these nations are going to take opportunity to do what they had been wanting to do. But since the hammer of the earth has been broken, they're going to do it. Now it's time to do it. Hey, look, the eyes are on Russia and Ukraine. Hey, move. Let's take this back. Taiwan, boom. Japan gonna make moves. All these people. What, you think Japan forgot about Hiroshima and Nagasaki and the 60 other cities that was being bombarded for months? Shit, these nations are gonna make moves, man, and that's why it's gonna be world war. It's gonna break out, and it's gonna be war everywhere. You know. They've been letting people in by the hundreds of thousands here in the Mexican border, but here it is. People are flooding the border. People, just random people coming in. They got reports that Chinese people been coming in. All these random people been coming in through the border, right? But they're more worried about the Ukrainian border. You American politicians more worried about the Ukrainian border than its own border. What the hell does that tell you, man? This is a psyop.
Right. It's a psyop right now. And this is what they're telling you peons on the TV. All right. You know, you don't know where to look. Okay, because you got the average American, they're worried about their borders. They're worried about the Mexicans and shit coming in here. All right, you know, but
well, and that's the thing. That's what they think. Oh, right. We got to start the Mexicans coming. The Mexicans, they're the least of your worries.
Least of your worries.
They're the least. Hey, wait, because it's an open border, man. There's people flying in from all kind of countries. You could fly. Russians come in through Venezuela. Nicaragua, all these different countries that these nations have capabilities of just coming in through and then make their way up and just coming through the border like migrants.
Yep.
But here it is, you worried about the Ukrainian borders, man. Go ahead, Dawada.
Hey, I was gonna say, because you were talking about the so-called Mexicans, they, you know, you're right. The average Americans are complaining about these so-called Mexicans coming over here stealing your jobs, when in fact, yes, the Mexicans are crossing the border, but they're leaving America right now. They're not coming over here like y'all think they're coming over here. Like the brothers are saying, it's these other people that's coming over here. That's these nations are actually sending over here, man.
The
All right,
caravan,
but hey, yeah,
the caravans ain't coming from Mexico. These are a bunch of people, random people that you don't know who they are, coming from South America, Central America, walking, bro. That's and now they're here. It's not like they're waiting at the border. After Trump left, them niggas just flooded. Trump, at least he said that, you know, he wanted to build the wall. He was adamant about it. As soon as he left, all that shit was abandoned. Now they just let niggas through. You know what I'm saying? Oh, they got kids. All they do is get kids and put them in cages. But here it is. There's people coming every single day. You know, was it El Dorado, Texas? All these different places on that border, man, just getting flooded with migrants that they don't know how to identify. They can't identify. They have no ID. They don't know where they're from. Because, you know, you're a Chinese nigga in pass as somebody from Peru. You know what I'm saying? So this place is finished, man. You're being infiltrated while you're worried about Ukraine.
Those sleeper cells are laid up all over the United States right now.
Yeah, well, exactly. Hey, in Miami, I think it's a city, you know, a little section of it. I forgot what it's called, but it's majority ran or people that live there is a bunch of Russians that came in and bought a bunch of shit. Why? Houseway, hell. But nonetheless, these people have been coming in, flooding it, and they can't prove who they are. You don't know why they're here. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you're probably all they keep pushing about on the mainstream media is Ukraine. So what really is going on? They keep talking about Ukraine because you never believe the media, the governments, because they're all in cahoots at the end of the day. Russia, America. Look, we understand who's paying them niggas off, whether it be Putin, Biden, or Trump, or a Macron, or a nigga from England. It doesn't matter. There's people behind them. So what's really going on? They talk about on the news, Ukraine this, Ukraine that, invasion this. What is really going on that they're distracting you from? Because you know when Esau propagates all that bullshit, he keeps force feeding you the same shit every day. There's something else going on. That's the real question.
Feeding you.
I'm fucking.
Hey,
Go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted you to go back to that Matthew real quick, but it was something that the brother was saying about, you know, these so-called sleeper cells, and it was something with the when you go back and you look at the shipping and stuff, because I know about you said that all those Russians down in Miami. There's also a bunch of big Russian community up in like Brooklyn area, somewhere up in New York as well. But going into like with the shipping and all the shipping getting shut down, but then you have a lot of these Chinese products coming in. What a lot of you Americans forgot about was that the Chinese was over here buying up a whole lot of land here in America, man. Building what they call like airports and airstrips, not for the public, but for transport, for them to keep bringing in goods and so on and so forth. So, hey, like, you know, that's not really, you know, seen by the so-called American public and things like that. So, hey, man, you people are right for taking.
The United States is in debt to the Chinese, man. You know, they have to do that. You can't. If that's what they want to do, then you.
That's why the Chinese are buying up land in the Midwest and all over the place. Like those farms that are going out of business, they're most likely owned by some Xi Jinping.
Yeah, Xi Jinping like that.
Yeah. But I seen an article earlier today. I think it was an RT. I can't remember where, but it said that Americans think Chinese are outsourcing their jobs, you know, because the factory. But they just opened up a factory in Boston or whatever the hell it was. I don't know if it was a factory, but it said they made 400,000 jobs in Boston. The Chinese
all Chinese niggas, mad Chinese people working there too, man.
Yeah. Well, regardless, you know, it doesn't matter who's working there. It's a Chinese entity, okay? Because what they again, like the brother said, America is in debt to China.
Yeah.
And now you don't know who they got working there. might be Ling Bong Jing, and this nigga's a trained assassin for all you know. Shit. You think this
you
nigga
mentioned
just...
the Russians.
Yeah, go ahead.
You mentioned the Russians, man. Being out here, even the area where I live in, because I live far from you brothers. This is a big Russian community. I don't want to dox myself, but it's a big Russian community. Panagoda, fuck it. They're down here. So who knows what's in there? And they buying land, they own businesses. They're parts of society, but who knows who they really are? And all that's going to come to light when the time is right. All right, when they get their orders, it's gonna be chaos out here in America. And we're telling you now, because we see it's like, damn, y'all not peeping game. Like, yo, one day it all could just flip, because the enemy, the so-called enemy, it ain't really to us. It's all enemies to us, but the so-called enemy is within the borders, man. And a lot of you regular people, you're still looking at, like we were saying earlier, you're looking at the Mexicans and Haitians and shit coming in here. Oh, that's the problem. That's the problem. Yo, the problem is a lot deeper than a bunch of what you call Mexicans and Guatemalans and shit. Yeah, wetbacks. Yeah, who cares about that, man? They're coming here to get they're just gonna come in and mow lawn and shit, man. And
as a matter of fact, the Mexicans make your life better. You faggot.
Dummy. Yeah, you dummy. Yeah, go ahead and kick them all out. Then your ass is gonna have to go out there and pick up the lawnmower and the damn weed whacker and get the business. All right.
Hey, I was gonna say they ain't
gonna do it.
Yeah, they out here heavy where I live at. We got all the farms. This is where you get your, up there, you got a place up a little north from us where they got the strawberries, but all your oranges come from right here, your tomatoes, your watermelons, we got nothing but all these things out here, and we be having the school buses full of Issachar out here, man. You don't want their jobs, man. But Aria, can you go back? Go ahead.
No, yeah, I got it. Matthew 24 and what?
She was about to say something?
No, go ahead.
Yeah, Aria, can you go back and read back up 6, 7, and 8 one more time? Because I'm gonna follow up with that.
All right. Matthew chapter 6. I'm sorry, chapter 24, verse 6.
Yep.
And again, this is Yahweh's words. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. So all this shit has to happen. Not to take away from you, but all this has to happen. All these things that we're talking about, it must happen, because we talk about salvation and the kingdom of heaven. I mean, that's really the main topic. That's really the main goal of all these lessons that we're putting out is salvation. But before we get to that, all this shit needs to happen first, and it hasn't happened yet, and we're in the midst of it. Okay, it says, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famine and pestilences and earthquakes in divers places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. You got it.
Khan, and I'll follow that up with 2nd Ezra 16, starting at verse 17, because like the brother was just going into, these are just all building points, and we're in the midst of it, and it's just getting worse and worse and worse and worse. All right, till it gets to that pinnacle. All right, 2nd Ezra 16, starting at verse 17, it says, Woe is me who will deliver me in those days. Like we was opening up with, this is a question that people should be asking, man. How are we going to be saved? What manner of conversation should you be in?
Right.
Seeing the writing on the wall right now, seeing all these things come to pass, seeing all these so-called doors being closed in the streets, man. How should you be, conducting yourself in these days? Verse 18, it says 18, the beginning of sorrows and great mourning, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? And the scripture keeps saying the beginning of all these things, man. We know it's just going to keep waxing worse and worse from here on out, man. All right, the beginning of sorrow.
We passed the beginning. Yeah, like real quick, I have to take it from you. We passed the beginning now. Now we in the midst of the shits. We in the shits.
Hey, now it's the end game, like the Avengers, the end game. We had the end game, man.
Con. It's popping off now. Now people are really dying. There's a real threat on the earth right now, and it's only going to keep like again, the tension is going to keep rising and rising. It's not going to cool down. All right, a normalcy is not coming back to the United States. It's not. They're not going to let up with the stuff that they're doing. It's only going to get worse, and the different mandates and things in the United States, that's going to continue to increase, and you're going to have to comply. And what's going on across the pond over there in Europe and in the Middle East, all right, the average American don't really understand what's going on over there. So when when the effects of that start taking place over here, it's going to be too late for the average American. The average American is not going to be. They're not going to know what to do. They're gonna rely on their government, and the government's already going to be like, all right, well, you know, if you didn't do this and this and this, then you're not going to get no help. And only for you to get help, you got to get this. You got to get this chip. All right, and all this stuff is coming. It's all on the horizon. It's all interconnected into one big prophecy. I mean, this is like really three separate prophecies. You know, talking about, you know, the R50 microchip, the war, and then the coming of our Lord. All this is really wrapped up into one thing. All these things must come to pass before Yahushua even decides to crack those. Before Yahushua is sent back down here.
Yeah, it's like that old song. I think it's from like the 70s or 80s. One thing leads to another. Hey, so every prophecy that comes to pass is leading to the next prophecy and the next prophecy. So the next thing, man, is clear and evident what they've been doing for 2 years, setting you up, getting your minds ready for the MOTB, like the brothers on the comm board saying. You know what I'm saying? This is the next. Look, there is no other way. If you see World War III on the verge of happening, and they then on your local news or whatever, Baltimore news, some kind of news in America is talking about this nigga got a chip that can give his status on the whole vagination process. You know, because what is a vagina? The reason I say vagination is because what happens to a vagina? It gets impaled, right? So these people been out here getting vaginated, getting impaled. So what do you think is coming next? The next thing they're gonna impale you with, which is gonna be the mark. Plain and simple.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I got you right here because you know two different points you brothers was making. You know, basically this is all happening simultaneously. All right. Well, they're gonna come simultaneously. You know, Yahushua's return, World War III, and the MOTB. So let me go ahead and read that real quick in Job chapter 20.
Well, I don't know not simultaneously, but you know, back to back, because the missiles will come simultaneously with Yahushua returning.
In succession, yes.
Yeah, they're gonna come in succession. Yeah. But I see what you're saying. Yeah, but what will come simultaneously is the missiles in Yahushua. You know.
There you go.
Yep. Job chapter 20 and verse 22. It says, in the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits, and every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. When he is about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain upon him while he is eating.
Yeah,
verse 24 says,
real quick, hold on. Verse by verse, brother. Read it again.
Yep. Going back to 22. In the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits, and every hand of the wicked shall come upon him.
Yeah, so if it said in the fullness of his sufficiency, all right, meaning he about to be sufficient, all right, he about to be satisfied, right? Finish that verse.
Yep. For 23, it says, when he is about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating.
Right. So this nigga, he's got a full belly. He as if you got eyes to see and ears to hear, you can see what this nigga's doing. He's setting up his new world order by to fill his belly. See, he's been doing this for years now. It's mind blowing, but damn, we're in the year 2022. Literally 2 years ago is when this whole thing really started kicking. This nigga been eating while you niggas is at home with mask on, getting shit, setting shit up, putting up towers of the 5G variety. You know what I'm saying? He been doing all this, just eating, setting up his new world order, depopulate niggas. Bro, they had an overwhelming case of people just dropping dead in the athletic field. You know, professional, NCAA, you name it, high school. All these nincompoops, all right, that got vaginated, okay, got raped. These motherfuckers is dropping dead from that. So this is all a setup for their new world order. This was an agenda. See, brother had brought out the Ford Crown Victoria. You know, I believe it was from the year 1919, right? Well, that was already in the books back in like 2012, 2013. Mm-hmm. And then they started making patents and this and that. And so here we are today, 2 years later from the the most deadliest thing to ever be seen on the planet of the earth. All right. But what's going on? The Lord is bringing the prophecies now. Now they're like, oh shit, this ain't working like we thought it would. You know? So what are they gonna do? They're gonna push even harder and harder and harder. But what the Lord's gonna stop him? He gonna reach to the peak where he start chipping motherfuckers. And yeah, we got these niggas. Yeah, we got these stupid niggers. You know, you gonna have Jake lined up at the CVS getting it. Just like they're doing right now. And they have been doing for the last year. You know? Yeah, because when homie Sleepy Joe came in, that's when they really started boosting it, if you know what I'm saying. And then now we're here today, niggas is dropping dead. But go ahead.
Continuing on, verse 20.
Oh, yeah, Clark, go ahead.
Yeah, he got one.
Verse 24 says, he shall flee from the iron weapon, and the bow of steel shall strike him through.
Right, so why is he going to flee from the iron weapon? Because he know his shit ain't working. And he know ultimately the elites of this society, all right, the elites of Edom, the elective Edom, if you will, they know that this shit ain't going to work deep down the side, but they're still going to try. But that's why they're going to try to flee from the iron weapon, which is those thermonuclear missiles, which the Lord made them create. They're going to try to flee from that, whether it be the bunkers, all right, deep underground military bunkers or military bases, underwater. They got bases underwater. They got space stations. That's why they've been doing all these space flights for pedestrians. That's all bullshit. They've been doing shit behind the scene, bro. All of a sudden they record niggas taking 6-minute flights to space. Come on, man.
Yeah, out of the blue. That's just some shit.
Out of the blue.
Now. Get the fuck out of here, dog. That all of a sudden now people going to space. That just happened overnight.
Overnight, bro.
Yeah, that's a big news. It's a big deal.
Yeah.
Space flight. But they it's just so nice. Oh yeah, so another rocket going into space with such and such on it. Like, yo, that should be all we're talking about right now. But there's another agenda behind all that. The brother's going, alluding to, man. This, y'all not paying attention, bro. Like, this is ugly.
Yeah, and we can see past the bullshit, man. We got them. We got Superman vision, man. We got X-ray vision. We can see through all the bullshit, man. You know. Go ahead, brother.
Scripture say, "Blessed are your eyes that see the things that you see." You know. Hey, Ariel, you still holding that Matthew 24?
Well,
I have it.
There was a little bit more on that verse.
Yeah, I can read a little bit more down into. Yeah. I got 2 more verses.
Okay, yeah, finish that and then we'll move on. Okay.
Yep. Job chapter 20 and verse 25 and 26. It says, "It is drawn and cometh out of the body, yea, the glitter of sword."
Go up a verse again. Read that again.
Job chapter 20 and 24 says, "He shall flee from the iron weapon, and the bow of steel shall strike him through. It is drawn and cometh out of the body, yea, the glittering sword cometh out of his gall. Hairs are upon him." Going into the. Go ahead, brother.
Hey, you got it.
Yep, going into those ICBM missiles coming up out of those, the silos and things like that. We was talking about this last week, I believe, or the week before, about how one of those submarines can hold multiple of these damn missiles up in there, man. So no matter where they coming from, man, hey, that's pretty much the how do you say, the depiction of these things coming up out of their so-called holding bays, man. All right. Verse 20.
That's something. Remember that same week we talked about it. I had watched a video later, and the dude was breaking it down. Of that particular submarine we talked about that went missing. They said it could hold up to like 160 something warheads.
Yep,
enough to destroy America, and America don't know where it's at, man.
Oops.
Yeah, so America don't know where this submarine disappeared to, and it's capable of holding up to. I can't remember the exact number. It was like 160 warheads. Which is like brother just put on the comm board. The silos are in subs. So you got silos you got silos on trains. You got silos in the ground coming out of the ground. You got silos in the submarines. You got silos on movable vehicles. You know what I'm saying? All they need to do is be able to hold that capability of shooting the missile off. And then the warhead is minute compared to the missile. You know what I'm saying? But I got a quick precept to back that up. The brother put it up on the comment board. And that was it on that, though?
one more verse. It
Okay,
says,
go ahead.
verse 26, it says, all darkness shall be hid in his secret place. A fire not blown shall consume him. It shall go ill with him that is left in his tabernacle.
Yeah.
You want to speak on that?
Now go ahead. You got it.
Yeah. Hey, a fire not blown. Hey, that's how them nukes go off, man. You know, it's not like in the olden days where you have to sit there and feed the fire and get it, you know, put more and more wood, get it all bigger, man. Hey, once these nukes go off, man, it's just an instant. That thing just go up, man. All right, it's gonna be how you say it, instant a flash, man. You know, and it's just gonna be over with, man. All right, you know, going into.
It knows where it's gonna go. It's guided, and you know, it has locked in, and ain't nothing gonna stop it.
You had a precept, Ash?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, it's like I was just reading this article, but it's about the IMF, the Monetary Fund. But this is second answer is the brother Samakamah Yawala Shalom Makiyah Bashim Shabakta, brother from Puerto Rico. You know, this is second Ezra 16 and 13 to go with the brother with just read says, for strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow, which again are silos, whatever. Well, it don't even have to be a silo per se. They could put warheads on jets nowadays. You know, matter of fact, they could put a warhead in a suitcase. That's how good the technology is. But you know, we know how they're gonna go off, be shot across the ends of the world. Obviously, all right. It says his arrows that he shooteth are sharp, which are what? The missiles. Okay. And in turn, what is that? What an arrow? If you shoot an arrow at somebody, what is gonna hurt them? The head of the arrow, the little arrowhead.
The tip.
Okay. Yeah, you shoot a little piece of wood at them, it may or may not hit them, and then because it's not even gonna fly right, and then it might not even pierce them. So the weaponry is in the head, and that's why it's called warheads. It says his arrows that he shoots are. Go ahead.
Real quick to back you up on that. When you look at that bow and arrow, like you said, the tip is the dangerous part. The wood and the tail of it is all for the delivery system.
Yeah.
It's more or less a delivery system to keep it balanced and stabilized through the air and everything else like that. So in modern day time, you see these huge ass missiles and things like that. That's nothing more than what they call I forgot the term they use, like MRV or something like that. But it's the vehicle, all right, that moves everything else like that. It's just the tip it's the warhead, like the brother's saying, man.
It was it's the propulsion system, like you look at a rocket, okay, or a spaceship. The spaceship is this big, but the whole thing that's taking off is this big. You know what I'm saying? Like when you watch, we here in Florida, we get to watch that shit. You know, when we see that shit take off, what first the gas tanks fall off. The first two gas tanks fall off, then the whole bottom of the ship falls off when they enter the atmosphere, and then it's just this big old thing that looks like a warhead at the top where the people are sitting in, and then they make it to the International Space Station. You know, the rest of it, like the brother said, it's the head that does the damage. And it says I'll start again. It says for strong is his right hand. Whose hand? Yahweh outside the Most High, because the Most High can put his fury in these missiles. This is the weapons of his indignation. It says, for strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. So that's why it says and going into the book of Joel, that they're not going to miss their mark, right? They shall not break their ranks, because the Lord, man, that's the baddest archer of all time. He don't miss bullheads every time. And matter of fact, he splits the arrows. He's going to send the first arrow. He'll split that arrow and then split that arrow and so on and so forth. That's how precision the Most High is. And that's how these missiles are going to be precise. It says that he bendeth the bow. His arrows that shooteth are sharp and shall not miss when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. That was it on that.
I gotta.
This ain't gonna miss, man. And they coming from the ends of the world. Keyword: the ends of the world. You show me one person that can shoot an arrow 500 yards. Shit.
Hey, but you just said it, from the ends of the world. That's why they have that acronym, Intercontinental Ballistic Missile. All right, from one continent to the other continent, you know? Yeah. But go ahead, Arya.
Hey, as a matter of fact, shout out to the Russian bots we got in the chat.
Russian bots, yeah.
Yeah, we got a couple Russian bots in the
chat. Yeah, what's up? This is the book of Revelation, the 9th chapter, which is like the chapter of the week, basically. Revelation chapter 9, verse 19. It says, for their powers in their mouth and in their tails. For their tails were like on the serpents, and had heads, and with them they do hurt. Okay.
Ooh, they do hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, you got it.
Yeah, you see that? So I mean, that's obviously talking about the missile system, okay? Right, the propulsion system, and then the warhead, the delivery system. All right, so that mouth, all right, that warhead, that's what hurts. Okay, and then if you look at any of the nuclear tests, you get all that stuff's on YouTube. You look at any of that; these are highly destructive forces, and the ones that you see on YouTube, those are old. So what they have right now is going to be very devastating. And that submarine that so-called went missing, that's what they say. Who knows what the situation really was, but that right there has the capability itself to destroy the whole continent, basically, United States. Right? It's going to hurt. All right, that's nuclear fire, but it said what? It says, and in their tails, for their tails were like on the serpents. All right, and that going into that delivery system. Because what you look at the missile flying in the sky, you could look at that up on YouTube. If you're an ancient man and you're having a vision of this, that's how you're going to describe it. That's exactly what that's a great description for an ancient person. Mm-hmm. It says, and had heads, and with them they do hurt. Okay, so we understand.
Yeah, and it's like real quick. It said heads, plural.
Heads, yeah.
Plural. Well, here it is in 2022. We have intercontinental ballistic missiles with the capability of holding multiple warheads. So you can't tell me that the scriptures ain't true, man.
That
ain't no way.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Satan 1 and the Satan 2. I think Satan 2 has a little bit more, but they have like up to 15 warheads, and one of these, what you look at as one missile, has like 15 warheads on the inside. Mm-hmm. And they call it like a state killer. Like one of those could take out all of Texas.
One warhead. One warhead.
Yeah.
One warhead can destroy Texas. So if they got 15 warheads in there, that means because Texas is the biggest state, according to Esau. So let's say Russia sends 100 ICBMs with 15 warheads in each. What is that? That's 15 times 100. That's 1,500, I think. So that would obliterate America, period. Absolutely. Just with 100 ICBMs. And they got way more than that. Well, I think they got, according to the statistics, I don't know where they get that stuff, because, you'd have to be an idiot to reveal your hand. But they say they got like 6,000 warheads or whatever. That's plenty to destroy the earth completely.
More than enough.
More than enough. Because if one warhead, can destroy the size of Texas or the size of France, which that's bullshit. That's another thing. They be lying about that. The sizes of the fucking land. That's another topic though. But nonetheless, these warheads, man. Again, like bro said, that's what they say. Oh, they can hold up to 50. Who knows? Maybe he got 30. Maybe he got 20.
Secret missiles. They got some secret missiles they ain't telling you about. So some more devastating missiles that they're not making public. Who knows, man? It's some serious shit. I mean, these are the Edomites. You got to remember who we're dealing with here. These are the Edomites. These people are bred for war. All they do is violence.
Yeah,
right?
This
Their
is
blessing
his
was the
blessing.
sword.
This is his blessing. Yeah. This is how he conquered the world, time after time. Greek Empire, how did he conquer? Through war. Roman Empire, how did he conquer? Through war. When the beast was reamped, how did he conquer the world? Through war. And what is his weapons of mass destruction called? Warheads. It don't take a rocket scientist to figure out who the Edomites are, man. This nigga has literally conquered the world time after time. All right, his two kingdoms. This is the third one. Through war, and now he got shit called warheads. Come on, man.
Hey, real quick, I just looked this up, and because I know you brothers was just speaking on this about these missiles and stuff, and what they got and what they don't got, and like the brother was saying, like it's not really smart for them to tell you what they really do have and things. And we'll put that information out like that, and a lot of this information is based off of their old stockpile, which now they doing thermonuclear missiles. And I just looked this up about the Tsar Bomba. It says the Tsar Bomba basically was a hydrogen aerial bomb, and it's the most powerful nuclear.
The Tsar
Tsar
bomb.
bomb. Yep.
Yeah, that's the most powerful one ever to go off. Tested.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's the point.
Yeah.
It says it's a hydrogen bomb, but it was the most powerful nuclear weapon ever tested.
Yep.
So we're not even talking about these types of bombs no more. We're talking about thermonuclear missiles.
Yeah.
All right. This is a whole. Yeah. The Tsar bomb is basically like a little firecracker, a little M80 comparably to what they about to be letting off out here, man.
Those are like
You know what I'm
plasma TVs. Those are like the plasma TVs of the early 2000s, man. You know, there was
Yeah.
Plasma TV. Now they got 80. They got 80 inch
8,000
screens and shit.
Yeah. So hey, man, they accounted their because really the numbers that the brothers is talking about and stuff like that. That was like they signed a treaty back then, and they weren't going to develop more warheads and more missiles and stuff like that. Well, that was before they even came out with thermonuclear missiles, and now they got thermonuclear missiles. Like, well, how many of them do y'all got? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yo, man, these people. Hey, man, the scriptures is to the T, man. All right, there's no mistaking that this is it.
Yeah, it went from nuclear, or so like it went from atomic to hydrogen
to thermonuclear.
Yeah, man.
They never used those. They never used the hydrogen bomb. So they still got them shits on decks probably somewhere.
Yeah, it's never been tested on people because they tested them on, they've tested
them.
missiles,
they tested
never a nuclear warhead. And that's
Never
one thing they've never tested a nuclear warhead.
God damn.
A nuclear warhead will bring devastation to anywhere they drop it. So I mean, who knows? Maybe the volcano they said supposedly erupted. Maybe that was a warhead. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? Maybe a small little warhead, pocket nuke, if you will. You never trust your enemy. The scriptures say never trust your enemy. They ain't got no videos of the volcano erupting. All they show is the aftermath. So
when they do test,
Go ahead.
I was gonna say when they do test these things, they only let's say you got 100% of this here bomb that they gonna it's the bomb that they're gonna make. They only test about 1% of it. And when you look into the Tsar bomb, but it was like, I mean, the shit was so big that it didn't even all of it.
It was a fucking school bus.
Yeah,
it was the size of a school bus.
But the amount of so-called, let's just say TNT for lack of better terms, only let's say about 10% of it actually went off.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not all of it even ignited more, let's just say. Some of it actually, got dispersed before it even went. So the whole bomb never even went off. So it's like, that shit, they have a picture of like how big the plumes are comparably to all the way up to the Tsar bomb, and that shit is big. And it's like, that's so small comparably to what they got nowadays. It's like, it's uncomparable,
that's
man.
big.
So
that's a walk in the park compared to what they got now. That's why nobody's tested them. Nobody has tested a modern day nuclear missile. And these missiles ain't modern day. They've been making them since the Cold War. These are 30, 40-year-old missiles or warheads that they've been stockpiling, if you will. Because hey, once you stockpile them, they're good to go. You know what I'm saying? It's like wine in the cellar. You know what I'm saying? Pull it out and it's good to go. But
they only been advancing the delivery system. That's the only thing they've been perfecting, getting longer and longer range of these. Just like with these S-300, 400, 500. The only thing that's changing with that, it's not really the warheads, the heads of them. It's the range of them. Yeah. And like with the hypersonic stuff that they're coming out with, it's just the speed and the range of it. Whatever you put on the tip is still the old school shit that they've been had. They only increasing the range.
Yeah, well, I'll say this because an atomic bomb or a nuclear warhead is a nuclear warhead. But I'll say from the 80s, it's definitely expanded the what's the word? If it explodes, the reach is gonna reach.
Radius.
I'm sure the blast radius is expanded, of course. But like the brother's saying, the main thing they've been working on is to make them motherfuckers fly over, like we read earlier, fly from the ends of the earth. That's the main point. It don't matter. We can send 15 of them bitches isn't gonna fuck shit up. But I'm sure the blast radius has expanded over the time as well. Because knowledge shall increase, not only in the truth, but Esau's scientists and all that. But this is, man, this you can't make this up, man. Because hey, it not only are nuclear missiles or shit. If anybody got nuclear missiles, they're gonna shoot them. Anybody got hydrogen bombs, they're gonna shoot them. Atomic bombs, they're gonna shoot them. Moab bombs, regular artillery, all that shit is gonna be shot off. It ain't just gonna be thermonuclear missiles flying through the air. It's gonna be everything. Shoot it all. Ring. Get the rags out of it. You know what I'm saying? When you're twisting the towel, get it all out. You know what I'm saying? The Lord gonna put it in their spirit to do it, because it's gonna be, hey, what's that switch they got over there in Russia? The dead hand. Shoot it all, man. Get rid of them. You know what I'm saying? And America,
like a fireworks show
at this point in time, man. Thanks to Crispy Joe. It's
gonna be like a fireworks show. At the beginning, they shoot certain ones off, but by the end, they just start letting everything go.
The grand finale. Yeah. I got Zephaniah. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, I got Zephaniah.
I got a bit to read. Go ahead.
Verse Zephaniah 1:14. It says, "The great day of the Lord Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua, is near. It is near and hasteth greatly, even the voice of the day of the Lord. The mighty men shall cry there bitterly. That day is a day of wrath, a day of trouble and distress, a day of wasteness and desolation, a day of darkness."
Hey, well, let's think about it, because they're going to be already in World War. But it says the day of the Lord, right? It said the day of the Lord?
Yeah.
So World War III is already going to be popping. So it says the day of the Lord is going to be all these things. So these niggas going to be shit in the middle of war, shit in their pants, and then chariots just pull up and start zapping niggas. Zapping people. And that we must come together to fight. So whoever's gonna be the leader at that time, because I don't think it's gonna be Biden, because that nobody respects him, not even his own mother. So somebody's gonna come in and take roles of these things and come on TV and say, look, we gotta come together and fight these alien invaders. We need a world peace, one world order. We need to come together and fight this foreign entity. And it's gonna be an ass whooping.
Yeah.
Hey, brother, you just quoted Ronald Reagan. They already said it, but hey, they're gonna say it again.
Yeah.
Because yeah, exactly. Because now it's actually happening. Before, he was just prophesying, Ronald Reagan, but then it's gonna actually happen. Because the day of gloomy. It says day of darkness and gloominess. I'm gonna keep reading. Day of clouds and thick darkness. This is the missiles is already popped off, man. All right, because matter of fact, you said earlier, Ash, that the missiles and the Lord is going to come back. It's going to be like that's going to be simultaneously. All right, because the Lord, when it pops off, all right, the destruction happens. America's destroyed. The sky's going to be filled up, okay, with the Lord, the chariots of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, and they're going to bring more destruction. All right, that's the last prophecy.
They're gonna be, because remember, the scripture say every eye shall see him, Yahushua. He's gonna be on that fathership, and the mini chariots. Watch the first what's the Independence Day, while the little ships was doing what they doing is killing people, and bitch on the top of the roof with the sign and shit. Zap.
Yeah. Independence Day.
So while that's going on, everybody gonna be seeing, and it's gonna be televised. Remember, it's gonna be televised. So while that's all going on, the chariots gonna be zapping people, and then they're gonna get to the point where they gotta shoot missiles to America in the midst of World War III, and then the chariots is gonna part ways and make room for them missiles, man.
Woo.
Right in the last second, they might be zapping people, pop, 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 and then in the last second, come in, pull up the whoop, might levitate you slowly, so as the scriptures say, the enemies beheld them. So we going up slowly as the missiles coming down. Get some.
Hey man, you got to picture these things. You got to picture with your mind's eye what we're talking about here. This is the scriptures. This is the prophecies that are set to come. These are the last few prophecies that are left, and we're in the time. The time is ripe for these things to actually happen any day now. So it's not far fetched. We're talking about World War III. We're in World War III. Okay, we just haven't gotten to the nuclear war yet. And we haven't gotten to the chip yet. See, these things. Wait, the chip comes first. Okay, more than likely. All right, and then the nukes and then the salvation and the destruction and the salvation come simultaneously. So we're at the gate of that. But this day of the Lord, all right, this day that the nukes pop off, this day that the Lord comes back and covers the skies, this is going to be a dark and gloomy day for the world. But for the elect, it's going to be everything that we ever hope for. I say it humbly, because we don't know who we are, but we expect to be part of that number. But for the rest of the world, it ain't nothing for you to be happy about. This is a gloomy day for you. This is pursuant to the book of Amos, the 5th chapter, where it says, what end is it for
Final
you?
destination.
Yeah, what end is it? Yeah, what? Oh, go ahead, bro.
I was gonna say I was gonna quote about ran from a bear and a serpent met him.
Oh yeah.
That final destination.
Right. Right before that, it says, for what end is it for you? Because that day is darkness and not light. So what are you so happy about? You're gonna and then you're gonna try to run from it. Like these elites, like the brothers were saying. Brother was saying, they got bases underneath the ocean floor. They got bases in the mountains and in space. All right, yeah, you could try to flee from all you want. And and you regular people too, trying to go in your bunkers and your basements and all that, trying to flee the Lord, trying to flee judgment, but or trying to, I'm gonna move to Peru, I'm gonna move to Brazil. Okay, I'm gonna get out of America. I believe in the missiles coming. I believe that is happening. I believe America's gonna be destroyed, so I'm gonna move to Brazil. Hey, there ain't no escaping the judgment that's coming upon this earth. It's gonna touch all four corners of the earth. All right, one way or another. If you're meant to get judged, you're gonna get judged. If you're gonna get hit with a missile, you're gonna get hit with a missile. If you're gonna get scooped up out of the rainforest by the angels, then that's it. Okay, because everybody's gonna get their judgment in that day. All right, This is a dark and gloomy. This is a day of destruction. All right, desolation.
In the words of Draco, if he dies, he dies.
Yeah, if he dies, he dies. We don't care. It ain't no skin off our teeth. All right, because we told you that this was going to happen. We tell you every day that this is going to happen, and you tell you, Jakes, that you can get right. This is the time of repentance. We're in a grace period right now. This is the time that you can actually get right with the Lord. But a lot of you people playing with it. You want to argue, you want to talk shit, like a little something, but you don't know a goddamn thing. So, hey, when that day comes, don't be looking and calling on the Lord, because the Lord ain't going to be listening to you. The Lord's going to leave. Your judgment is probably going to be nuclear destruction, or like we were reading earlier. Shai was saying that he prophesied that famine and pestilences. All right, so we see signs of famine coming right now. We talk about it every week. The food shortages and the things that's orchestrated. These things are happening right now. Okay, and it's not going to get better. All right, it's going to only get perpetually worse and worse and worse until somebody has to step in and do something. Okay, so that's going to lead to a famine, guys. That's going to lead to a famine. That means you're not going to be able to go to Publix and Kroger and Walmart and wherever you buy food and just fill up your grocery cart.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, but the thing is, people see, because in time of war, in past times, America's been through plenty of wars, right? People say, oh yeah, war, why? Because it didn't affect them. But very shortly, it will affect you. As a matter of fact, you might be invaded. And the most important point is when they mandatory implement the RFID microchip, it don't matter if you signed up for duty or not. Nigga, you ain't eating if you ain't got that chip.
Math.
You ain't getting paid. See, that's the deal breaker. That's gonna set this time from any other time, because there ain't been a time where it was where they was sticking people with something to make you buy and sell. This is unprecedented times we're living in.
Yes, sir.
This is biblical times we're living in, prophetic times we're living in, and this is the end, as Michael Jackson said, before he bowed out gracefully.
This is it.
So there you go. This is, see, look, people really don't see the consequences of this chip, the mark of the beast. They really don't see it. Oh, the mark of the beast, whatever. Oh, but we can show you World War III in the scriptures, and then we'll show them the mark of the beast. But they'll believe World War III. So they're just going to have to see the chip come out, rolled out, and there's chipping stations at your CVS, Walmarts, and so on and so forth. They're already not letting people buy certain things in stores. I forgot where it was, but they weren't allowing people to buy certain things. All you could buy was produce and medicine.
Yep.
Unless you was, vaginated. You had to get a good fucking before you go in there and be a normal citizen. You got to get fucked, vaginated, if you see what I'm saying. So imagine when that mark comes out, man, the Karagma, when they start shooting niggas up with that. And you're seeing how they did it for these last 2 years, and then they let it die back down. Then they let you come back out, and then they let it die back. You know, so this is gonna be full-fledged fucking uppercut. Bam, nigga. This nigga elbow gonna be like this. That's how hard he gonna hit you. Just bam. and that's how it's gonna be, and that's what we're warning you about. You can take it, you can believe it. That is not our issue. We just here to tell you it. You know. You had something, Davidado?
I had quite a few things, but I mean, if you want to close out, I got one we can close out on. A closer. This Matthew 24, read 21 and 22. It says, you know, just to sum up everything that, you know, I was going to pretty much read anyway. Matthew 24, 21 and 22, it says, for then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. You know, like the brother said, hey, that's still going to be that major catalyst, man. When you can't eat, you can't move and everything else, man, that's going to be that ultimate submission hold. All right. That great temptation is coming upon the whole earth to try the whole earth, man. All right. Because, you know, a lot of people that's going to cause a lot of people to fold in that day, man. All right. Yeah. Great tribulation, man. You have tribulation from all sides and everything else like that. You're going to be put into a siege, man. All right. Yeah. Verse 20.
See, people, real quick. People say they tough and this and that, man. If you don't have the spirit and power, how about Shema shine on you? You're gonna fold quick, man. Unless the Lord have it in you to be one of those people to bring the sedition and be an uproar. Most people gonna fold quick, bro. Especially most Americans are gonna fold quick. You see what is going on right now? These niggas walking in the car, chilling by themselves with 3 masks on. Come on, man. You think they ain't gonna take the chip? These niggas walking around, and it's always Jake. When I was down there in Miami, I went out with the brother, it was just like 10, 11 o'clock. We went to get some chicken wings, you know how Jake do. But we went to get some chicken, and we sitting at a spot, bro. I'm looking around. I'm like, hey, check this out. The only motherfuckers in here with masks is Jake. Everybody else having a good time, chilling, It was only Jake. It was mainly nigga women, okay? I keep it real. It was mainly nigga women. I say 88% of them was nigga women, but it was only Jake with mask on. I'm like, God damn, these bitches, Spicks and Tontos, all right, are gonna take that chip, no question asked. They just gonna let me get 2. Mm-hmm. Hey, they already got one yab. Not 2 yabs, but 3 yabs. So what's gonna stop? Hey, give me a chip here, give me a chip there, put that shit right here. So these people are through, man. And the hell with them. Good riddance. They need that. This is the way they're gonna be purified. They need it. Because they're not gonna come into the truth and be converted and healed. So this is the way they gotta be healed, man. Mm-hmm. Through death by pain. Mm-hmm. And a horrible pain at that. But go ahead, I'll finish that off.
Yep, going back, Matthew 24, verse 21 and 22, it says, for then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. And except those days should be shortened, there shall be no flesh saved. Just like the brother was saying, man, hey, everybody gonna want to fold into this thing. It says, but for the elect's sake, those days should be shortened. So the Lord going to speed these prophecies up. All right, we praying that the Lord, hasten the day, man. All right, for the elect's sake, so that we can get up out of here, man. All right, so the day that the Lord come and deliver us up out of here, man. But the rest of these people, man, hey, it ain't gonna be no flesh saved. Like the brother was saying, you already see these folks, how they gonna react in these days. They already out here double, triple masked up, riding by their damn self, jogging in the park by their damn self and to pass out with a damn mask on and everything else like that. You know what I'm saying? But hey, it's clear and obvious, who has a fighting chance out here, man. The elect, man. Right, well, the elects are going to only be the only ones that make it. But when you look at the reverse side of it, you can see, all right, none of these motherfuckers is part of the elect, man. All right, because they don't even have no faith. All right, so it's not looking good for them from the jump street anyway. But you brothers got anything?
No, I don't have anything.
No, you can close it out, brother.
All right, so with that, we want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that taught us his truth and never will. And salutation and much love for you, Aki, and pushing truth and sincerity on the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. Stay strong. Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom.